It appears as though, and I made a couple videos about this over the weekend, it appears as though Dricus Du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev was going to be the headliner for International Fight Week on June 28th. And those were the rumors. And there's been no announcement, much to our disappointment as fans. And now people are saying, per Kevin Iole, that DDP appears to be injured and will not be able to fight on International Fight Week. First of all, I want to ask you, Coby, have you heard about this news?
No.
Okay.
I just learned that right now.
Yeah, so DDP, it looks like very well maybe out. And it's a big bummer. Khamzat has been going back and forth with DDP online, saying he's like a BS guy. Are you a fan of Khamzat, by the way?
Yeah, I like the way he fights. Yeah.
Okay, so if you may not have seen our show, but like I am a super fan of Khamzat. He's my favorite fighter of all time. And I feel like I've been waiting since 2021 for him to get a title shot. I feel like he could have gotten one had he not gotten sick. And it's just been so disappointing how dragged out his career has been in terms of not getting a title shot. So I've been waiting. I've been so excited for him to finally get this title shot and finally show what he can do on the biggest stage, because I really believe he's going to get the job done. So I'm very disappointed. That being said, we are where we are. It appears to be probably true that DD, because he's not denying it. He's not coming out and saying, no, what are you guys talking about? I'm totally fine. So I'm inclined to believe this is true. If DDP does indeed pull out, who would you like to see Khamzat fight if he does fight in International Fight Week?
Shoot. There's a lot of tough 85ers, but I don't think it really matters, because it'd be sweet to see him fight Bo Nickel. Obviously, that probably won't happen. But I think that's the only guy that could give Chimaev trouble is Bo Nickel. Other than that, I think he's going to buzzsaw through anyone that they throw him, because his grappling and wrestling is just too overwhelming. I don't see anyone giving him a hard time. Like look what he did to Whitaker.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, I think he'll do that to just about anyone, but they would need like a really tough Ohio or Pennsylvania wrestler, or like a D1 NCAA All-American level wrestler that can strike and do jiu-jitsu to give Chimaev a hard fight. I think other than that, he's just going to cut right through him, make him probably look like a kid, to be honest.
That's what I want to hear. That's what I believe too. Okay, before we got a comment from Tehran talking about Caio Borralho. I always have trouble pronouncing his name.
That's a good one too. But
let's talk about the DDP matchup, because I want to hear your thoughts and your opinion on this, because it sounds like you know a lot about Khamzat. What do you think goes down if and when Khamzat does fight DDP?
I think Khamzat would take him down and make him look pedestrian.
That's what I think.
Yeah, you're
gonna piss a lot of people off right now.
I really like. Okay, I see like DDP, like he blitzes, he does a lot of really slick stuff that looks awkward and unorthodox.
Right.
But it's like very effective. He's not like you see him like walking with his punches and doing stuff that you don't really see much in MMA. It almost looks like a Cuban boxer, or like just from what I see, I'm not an analyst, obviously, but he does some very crafty shit with his striking, DDP does. But unfortunately, he didn't do wrestling since he was 4 years old, I don't think. I don't know a lot about DDP as far as like his life or how he trained. But in my opinion, I see Chimaev getting in the same lead as him, whether it's ortho, or southpaw, hitting his knee, doubling off, finishing the takedown, putting Chimaev on his or putting DDP on his back, cutting through his guard, beating him up on the ground and choking him. That's just I don't bet on fights. I barely even watch fighting unless I'm like studying somebody. But to me, I think Chimaev makes him look like easy. Like, you ever seen like someone solve a Rubik's Cube in like 30 seconds? That's what I think Chimaev will do to him.
Dude, I agree with you, and I've been saying this, but people, when I make videos specifically about DDP and the Khamzat matchup, I get a lot of people from South Africa getting mad at me and saying I'm crazy and I don't understand DDP and how good he is, and they also say like South Africans are so tough because we grew up playing rugby. You don't understand. And look, it's a fight. Anything can happen, but that I do think he's going to make it look ridiculous, and it's going to be something like that. So just to give you a little back, and I love this. This is a very technical analysis. I know you said you're not an analyst, but you're a fighter and you know the game, and this is exactly why I wanted to ask somebody like you about your thoughts. So just to give you a background on Du Plessis, he began training judo at the age of 5. So he didn't grow up wrestling, but he started wrestling at the age of 12, and then he began kickboxing at 14. He was a kickboxing champ, I think in K1. But that's his background. So, yes, I do think for sure Khamzat has the wrestling advantage. We've got Caio Borralho, another guy who I mentioned in a video yesterday that I made or 2 days ago. I don't know what you think about this if he's one of your teammates. Why not throw Sean Strickland in there maybe for an interim title? Even though I don't like the idea of an interim, I want Khamzat to just go up and finally get his title shot. But what do you think about that?
Sean versus Chimaev?
Yeah, for an interim.
Like,
do you like that fight? You don't have to, I know he's your teammate. You don't have to comment on like how it would go or anything, but would you be is that interest you, do you think?
I mean, anything Sean does is interesting. You know,
For sure.
I feel like Sean's a much better grappler than people realize.
For sure. Justin's told me that many times.
Yeah, like he can grapple. He's not like a folk style wrestler or like a good but for MMA wrestling, he's a super good anti-wrestler, meaning like if you try to wrestle him, he'll deny you for the most part.
Sure.
But I don't know, man. That'd be a heck of a fight. I think they've trained together. I could see Sean. I'm obviously biased because Sean's my teammate, but I could see Sean giving Chimaev a hard time. It's just that in between game where, like the up down game, like you think you're striking and then Chimaev disappears. Now he's on your legs. Now you're getting mat returned. Sean could probably throw stuff up the middle, like up the center line, teeps, a good jab. I think those things could present a hard time for Khamzat, but once you're on the ground with him, though, man, I don't know, bro. He's a bad guy. He's a bad dude on the ground, and it's MMA wrestling. Like, to be honest with you, like his freestyle wrestling, I don't know like the stats and numbers, but like Chimaev's freestyle wrestling, I don't think is like as good as everyone thinks it is. Like otherwise, he would probably be an Olympic wrestler. But the MMA wrestling is so much different than freestyle or folk style wrestling. Obviously, folk style wrestling is more applicable to MMA because you have top and bottom. In folk style, you got to get up. In freestyle, it's called parterre. You lay on your chest, you lay on your stomach. After there's a clock, after the clock goes up 10 seconds, they stand you back up. So you don't have to earn escapes. So, like some freestyle guys, they glue themselves to the mat, and I don't think that helps you for MMA the way that folk style does, where you need to stand up. Honestly, and judo's cool, but I don't think judo presents as much trouble as a great folk style wrestler. But then with the folk style wrestler, now you got to learn how to box, take punches, check kicks, counter kicks. So it's interesting, but to answer your question, I don't know how. Sean's big too. Sean's a big guy. He's not like a small 85er. He walks around swole. Like sometimes I see him at the gym. I'm like, he looks like a NFL tight end or like a third baseman in the MLB or something. You know, he's not a little guy whatsoever.
Right.
But it's just, bro, once you get on the fence or once you get on the ground with Chimaev, he's going to start punching on you and beating the submission out of you. But I think Sean could give him a tough fight. Maybe hurt him with something up the middle or hurt him with a knee, teeps maybe.
All right, we got a couple. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I would love to see that matchup, and obviously it'd be great to see Sean get paid.
And it's got some heat to it. Sean's talked a lot about Khamzat. I also like that rivalry. I like the fact that there's something to it, some meat to it. So I don't know. I think it'd be cool. We got a couple comments I want to read off real quick. Western says DDP shakes like a rainbow when he steps through on punches. That's pretty funny. Big Ankh is here, and Big Ankh says Kyle versus Khamzat for the interim. Yeah, like I know people have been saying Kyle versus Khamzat for the interim, but Kyle's ranked 6th. I don't see why it wouldn't be a Mavov or Sean Strickland versus Kyle. I don't see why they would come in front of or why they would get they would be overstepped for Kyle. That's my personal opinion, but you guys let me know. Khamzat posted a picture of him subbing Kyle in training. Oh my God. Khamzat always likes to talk about training. And then I'm not going to read this name, but it says, Dricus is a wonderful guy. Much love to our South African king. Hope he recovers fast. I hope so too. I hope this fight somehow happens. We shall see. I've been devastated all weekend because I've been waiting for this fight to be announced, but it is what it is.